I'm Josiah Ryan. I'm here reporting for the Jerusalem Post in Sheikh Jarrah, outside of Jerusalem's Old City. This protest occurs generally every week, but this week it's been especially intense due to 17 arrests that happened at last week's protest. Take a look. After several Palestinian families were evicted in a court ruling from the homes they were living in Sheikh Jarrah in order to make room for Jewish families last summer, the East Jerusalem neighborhood has become a flashpoint for the older question, who does Jerusalem belong to? Arabs, Jews, or both? The nearly weekly gathering had dwindled to just over 100 protesters just 2 weeks ago, but organizers warned then that the movement was holding its fire for later in the month.
Right now we have circles of around 1,000 protesters that can be here, and we don't want to get them tired and get them every week. And we know that in 2 weeks from now we're gonna need lots of energy.
After 17 arrests last week, organizers met in Jerusalem and vowed they would not be cowed by police. Indeed, this week more than 300 protesters showed up, including Jews, Arabs, tourists, and dozens of members of the press.
Because people understood both. We are talking about a political issue, about settlers getting into East Jerusalem, and second, about the freedom of demonstration in Israel. This is why we saw so many new faces in this demonstration this week.
20 were arrested, some in the act of attempting to break into homes occupied by Jewish settlers.
הם רוצים להשתיק אותנו, השוטר הזה ספציפית אמר לי לשתוק. הוא עוד נכנסים על האזיקים כדי שנשתוק, לא כדי שנרים ידיים. אני לא מתנגד, והם עוצרים אותנו. כנס, תודה רבה. יש לו כבר אזיקים, אולי...
Tried to break into the homes of settlers today in Sheikh Jarrah, stated one well-known left-wing activist on her Facebook wall Friday night. Jewish residents and worshippers headed to a local religious site fought their way through the crowd that often assaulted them with rocks, spit, and curses. Sometimes they returned fire. They mostly kept their silence to the media due to Shabbat restrictions. Security forces have called the situation in Sheikh Jarrah particularly explosive. After the sunset, reinforcements of riot police arrived and dispersed the crowd with force. Meanwhile, as the number of arrests continued to rise, organizers told the Jerusalem Post on background that they plan to make the protests bigger and make them more visible in coming weeks. For the Jerusalem Post, JPost TV in Sheikh Jarrah, I'm Josiah Ryan.